Oh, we're live.
Oh, perfect.
And hello, everybody. Welcome back to another, live stream broadcast. It's kind of a it's live stream a broadcast.
Man,
Does that work?
You're the expert.
I'm really
bud.
not the expert. I'm really not the expert. So apparently, yeah. So sure, live stream broadcast. Before we begin, I want to say thank you for everyone tuning into this. Be sure to check out Energy Crew podcast right there, and also make sure you're registering for the American Shale premiere tomorrow. Check that out on digitalwildcatters.com. Make sure you register for that. There's gonna be live Q&A, and also they're giving away an Xbox right in time for Halo. So I'm excited for that, everybody. And we are sitting here with one of my closest friends. Actually, when do we know each other? 2000?
I think it's 2000. That's the story I tell everybody.
I think it's 2000. I'm sitting here with Jason Stewart, the
technical sales manager for completion solutions at Weatherford.
Okay, thank you. That's what I was waiting for you. Okay, good.
JP, thanks for having me on, buddy.
Thanks for coming on, dude. So, let's look. We'll talk about the conference, Congress, whatever you want to call it, in a little bit. So, Jason and I know each other from back in 2000. We went on a study abroad trip at Texas A&M. We're both in marketing at Texas A&M. Do it.
Woo!
Of course, he wanted to do that. So, we're both at Texas A&M. I was in the Corps of Cadets. True story.
It is shocking.
It is true. But
right?
I feel like this is kind of like Black Ops Corps Cadets, like very undercover. You know what I mean? Like off the grid. I've been in training. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely. Yeah, he's definitely somehow in a foreign land, trying to fit in.
Just trying to like blend in. Like, hey, we're gonna find the head terrorist. You know, like then I find him and I take care of it. So, anyway, so we met in 2000 on a study abroad trip at Waxy O'Connor's.
Yep, London.
In London, and they had a drink called the TVR, tequila, vodka, and Red Bull. Have you had one since 2001?
I have, actually, at Waxy O'Connor's.
When?
I went back in 2013.
Okay, so you went back there. So for those of you who don't know Jason Stewart, he's one of those people that has his MS on his title. So like if you go to LinkedIn and look up Jason Stewart, it'll have that, and it'll have like Jason Stewart MSc, right?
It just says MS.
Just
not
says
to
MS.
be confused with MRS.
So I have my master's too, but I don't have that put on there. Should I upgrade it?
I mean, I feel like you paid an awful lot for those letters, right?
Yeah, but maybe I should kind of maybe I'll test the waters out, kind of bring it in. Maybe for those out there, does having those letters next to your name doesn't matter to you?
I think JP's super credible with or without the letters. For some of us, you have to.
I don't know about that.
Them,
but anyway, that trip was great. Shout out to Dr. Gresham out there. He's a huge mentor.
By the way, I saw him 2 weekends ago.
Where at?
In his house in College Station.
How's he doing?
He's good, man.
Yeah, anything new?
No, nothing new. It's just the same old Gresham.
I dig.
Yeah, so I was up for a game. And
okay.
When I say a game, like I went to several games in College Station this year, but did not make it over to his house. And so on a Saturday, I wanted to have a daddy-daughter day with my daughter.
Okay.
And so she's a big A&M fan, and we went and we watched.
Is your son a big A&M fan too?
He likes A&M.
Where's he feeling?
He wants to go to Stanford. And
okay, I really can't. I have no comment on that. What an idiot.
But anyways, yeah, so I was like, hey, let's go catch a game, and I'll let you see the university whenever it's not game day, right? Because every time we've gone, it's been crazy. So I was like,
it's not fun. It's not fun when it's that crazy.
I mean, obviously, I love going to games.
But the whole parking situation.
Sure. So we actually went to the chicken and watched the game, and
you had a cheeseburger.
Yeah, I got
so good.
Got a cheeseburger. Yeah. So it was pretty spectacular.
So was that your first daddy-daughter date up there? Is you two?
Yeah, first time with just us two.
That's awesome, man.
Actually, she's interested in being the Corps Cadet, so I may have
really?
to have her get the
well.
The notes from JP.
I'm sure things have changed since I've been there, but no. If she wants to talk, yeah.
Yeah, I think she wants to do Parsons Mounted actually, because she.
I never did that. That was a little too tough for me. That took a lot of physical activity. That wasn't my strong suit at Texas A&M or now, surprisingly. Or now.
Shocking.
So, really good for her, man.
Yeah, that's what she. Well, I mean, that's what she's interested in.
So we did that. So we did the trip, the marketing trip there. It was pretty much like a pub crawl, pretty much. We were late to a lot of the planned meetings with the international banks.
I think year 1 we were actually pretty studious.
It was year 2 when we went back as TAs.
We did do that.
That's when the party started. Well, the party started the first year too. We just carried it on.
I really think that our advisory capacity was just to keep kids out of trouble, and for
how do we do
all
on
intents
that?
and purposes, we did that.
Okay.
So nobody went to jail. Everybody made it home safely. Nobody went to jail.
Okay. I'm just trying to recall. Okay.
Yeah. So the fact that we were not around to proctor the exams, I think that's a lesser known fact. It's really probably an ancient.
No one remembers that. No one even remembers. No one even brings it up anymore except you. Live on this podcast.
Everybody remembers the time that we showed them in all of those foreign locations.
So Jason, let's kind of do this professional thing. So for those that don't know Jason, I had him on my previous podcast, and those that probably lived in Denver or even Midland area. So you lived in Midland or Odessa?
I lived in Midland.
Okay, so Midland, he was out there for a period of years, and he moved back to Houston. How long ago? 2-3 years?
Yeah, it's been 2 years now.
2.5 years, 3 years now. So he's now at Weatherford and doing really well. Met a lot of your team, solid group of guys and girls out there. So I guess tell me about this. What's your initial? We've already discussed kind of the attendance kind of being down because of the new Omicron. I always have to do that with the Omicron. So the attendance is down because of the Omicron, obviously. So I think they were expecting 10 to 12,000 people, and I think we're hovering around 2,000 or 2,500 now, right? Which actually is not bad. I mean, that way you kind of go in, get a coffee wherever you want. If it's too crowded, you don't feel. I mean, people want you to come to their booth, whatever they have there, to also discuss technology too. I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So World Petroleum Congress, that is where we're at, right?
Yes,
okay.
23rd.
All right. So World Petroleum Congress, man, what a great show. This is my first opportunity to have a chance to actually check it out. And I have to be honest, I'm really impressed with all of the exhibitors.
What are you impressed with?
Just, I mean, the quality of the knowledge that's here, right? So I'm really shocked at the messaging, from our industry. Like, it's both refreshing and I think
what do you mean?
Well, so
I don't know if you know this, but my job is to peel back those layers. All right.
Okay.
Peel back those layers of what you're talking about.
Yeah. So a lot of the messaging is around ESG for those that aren't here today.
Shocker.
And, yeah. And so anyways, obviously at Weatherford we're focused on ESG as well, and having the opportunity to see just how that focus is shared across the industry is it's interesting. I think JP and I were talking about it walking out of an area earlier, and we sat there and we're like, man,
the restroom.
We sat there and said, I wonder how much difference this conference looked 5 years ago.
So 5 years ago, what do you think this So first off, I think the Congress is done once every 3 years. It's called like the Oil Field Olympics. Once every 3 years, it's all around the globe. I think last year was in Turkey or something like that. So this year it's a lot of technology, and also what's kind of cool, you're seeing you aren't just seeing oil and gas companies here. You're seeing NASA. I saw a couple NASA people. NASA has a booth. Boston Dynamics. You got those scary robot dogs, Skynet dogs walking around. And he made a joke that those things are pretty tough to clean up after. Nice one, Jason. Yeah, it's not just oil and gas, which I find interesting. You're finding all these not just Houston-based industry companies, but you're also finding Boston Dynamics and all these different robot technology, whatever style companies here.
Yeah, most of the people that come out to the Weatherford booth actually want to talk about various forms of carbon capture and sequestration, methane leak detection,
So you're finding a lot. So So get into the conversations you're having. At your booth.
Yeah, moral of the story is I think there are a lot of folks. There are folks that are interested in what Weatherford has to offer. But in addition, he's waiting with somebody. In addition, there are a lot of folks that are here, obviously trying to test the waters for their products. So new technologies that are going to market, and they're trying to understand how they partner with, a major service company like Weatherford to really take advantage of, some economies of scale with what we're doing.
How do you kind of source or decide on kind of what technology would you let in the floodgate, and what you're kind of we'll look at that later?
You mean me personally, if somebody walks up and
starts
talking?
Sure.
I'm a sales guy, so I think you have to sell me first and foremost, right?
Okay.
Yeah, if you're talking to me about a technology and you can't give me a good elevator pitch, right?
Yep.
Elevator pitch,
Yep.
then I don't know that I send you to the next level, right? So I think having your best and brightest here to sell your products, especially if you're a startup, is really important.
So let me ask you a question. So coming here, I mean, obviously you have the operator side. I mean, you have the Aramco booth, you have the Exxon Mobil booth, you have the Chevron booth with the best coffee here per Justin Brignac, which is kind of true. It's my second latte. I don't know where I was going with that. So okay, who do you think would benefit most in this conference right now? With I guess the number of people that are here right now currently, who would benefit from coming here?
So I think there's benefit across the board, but if I was to sit there and be like, oh, okay, service companies are going to benefit because there are a lot of customers here, I can't necessarily say that's the case. I actually think operators benefit more, and I've seen like the Chevron booth, right, the Saudi booth. I've seen them basically asking different folks to come up and just talk to them about their technology. So it's actually, I know it's a weird.
That's a weird shift in dynamic.
It's a weird dynamic because for a long time, obviously we're trying to beat down the door. And I'm not saying we're still not trying to beat down the door.
No. We're always trying to beat down the door, but it's kind of a cool shift in, I guess, dynamics and conversations. If they're sitting there asking for people to come to them and kind of not pitch them, but talk to them about things.
And whereas a year and a half ago we were in a place where they might have been inundated with new technology discussions, I think now people are probably hungry to hear what the latest and greatest is from service-based like Weatherford.
Because there's been such a huge explosion on obviously the technology side, obviously the ESG, methane, carbon cap, all that stuff, on that side. So there's been a huge explosion from that. So I think people's appetites kind of hear what's latest. Because the last thing you want to do right now, and I think in our industry right now, is be kind of left behind when it comes to technology. That would improve your ESG or your efficiency performances, right?
Sure.
Does that make sense?
You don't want to be left behind. Right?
You don't want to be left behind.
It's every service company's nightmare, right? To have their competitor come out with a product that just knocks their socks off.
What competitor do you like the least? Okay, don't answer that. You don't have to answer that because we'll probably rumble with them here in a little bit. Yeah. No, we're good though. So that is interesting though, having the operators come up to people though.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think it's a different place for the oil field, and I think we talked about this on the podcast.
I don't know, but let's talk about it now. Let's preach.
So I think out of every downturn, you have a technology or a series of technologies that present themselves that have the opportunity to change the industry, right? I mean, typically if things are going great and you're in an upswing, you take advantage of existing technologies, and it's just
there's not much
production mode, right?
And there's not much investment in new technology too, because everything's going good.
Right.
Yeah.
But in the downturn, you have to find ways to do things more efficiently. It's just the nature of the beast.
Correct.
And so, for the last 2 years, I think every service company has been focused on how do we extract cost out of the process, right? How do we do things more efficiently for operators? And so
we let go of our hands.
Yeah, that's not the answer, Jake.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at that. We replace them with those dogs.
Jeez, man.
No, I'm kidding. But there's a robot dog behind you. Anyway, so okay, get rid of the call. Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah. So the moral of the story is that some of these technologies, right, because of COVID, have not had the opportunity to reach the operators as much as we would have liked for them to, right? So I think this type of event gives us that springboard to have those conversations.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I dig that. So what else, man? What else is going on?
What else is going on?
Are you back in the, so how is it adjusting for you kind of coming to town? You're here for 2.5 years. 1 year you're managing from the house.
Sure.
So how are you, how's that going for you? The whole, getting back to the office, managing face to face.
So I'm back in the office several days a week.
Okay.
But our schedule is super flexible. Again, kudos to the Weatherford guys. They have it.
And girls.
Thank you. And girls. I mean that. Anyways. So kudos to Weatherford people.
There you go.
Because they have given us flexibility, right, to work in the place that makes the most sense, either be it at home or at the office, or from a customer's office, right?
Okay.
So how is it for me?
Yeah.
I lead a sales team, and I'm a sales guy. which means that I crave interaction.
Is your sales team just in Houston?
Yeah. So right now my sales team is only in Houston.
Okay.
In the downturn, I had a few other areas, and now it's relegated to a few guys here in Houston.
Through cost efficiencies.
Actually, guys in Houston.
Okay.
So anyways, yeah, moral of the story is that I crave interaction both with my team and then with customers. The customer piece is starting to come back. We're seeing more customers taking meetings, right?
Yep.
Events, like Connection Crew, getting people out and obviously engaging with each other is really important for our business, right? So, anyways, I crave that connection. I crave the opportunity to visit with people, and it's coming back slowly but surely. Not as fast as I would have hoped for, but in the Omicron,
the Omicron.
Hopefully that doesn't delay us any further. But yeah, man, it's starting to come back. So there's light on the horizon.
So tell me about this. You're the executive. So there's a lot of big hitters here at the World Petroleum Congress. Whether the attendance is down or not, there's CEOs from anywhere from Weatherford to Chevron, to Exxon, and there's also all these country diplomats, right?
There are.
And originally I wanted to have you come on and get on the live stream, probably be the first one, but a good thing you didn't, because you had the executive from Weatherford come down and actually visit the booth when you were there. So how was that, mister? How was that? How are you around? Are you good? Does it flow pretty well around executive management like that?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm pretty bad at it. I'm just going to admit.
I'm not perfect. If anybody out there is an expert, I'd love to hear.
What do? Do you try to sound smarter than you are, and then you end up jumbling words?
Yeah, I'm going to fail at that.
That's what I do all the time.
So,
that's my move.
Authenticity is my thing. So there's not a technology that I represent that's showcased over there. I'm basically here for my good looks. So
and the power pose.
Yeah.
Wait, did you take a picture with? Was that them in the picture?
Yeah. Well, so there was one of our VPs is in that photo, but.
So Jason showed me a picture. I'm sure he's going to post it on LinkedIn. If he doesn't, I'll bug him about it. He has the ultimate power pose. Usually the hands are in the pocket for this. No, his hands were out. He was kind of bowed up, chest out. Looking sharp, man.
Look like I've been hitting the gym.
Looking sharp, man. Have you been hitting the gym?
I've been trying, Jake.
I know. I'm trying to get back into it.
Yeah.
It's been slow.
But no, to answer your question, whenever the CEO comes around, you make sure that you introduce them and let them know what it is what product you support. Have a good question in your back pocket.
Do you ever drip little stuff like this? Like, yeah, it's tough. My daughter needs braces, but we're all in the same boat. You ever do stuff like that? Like, oh yeah, ran out of the undercover boss. Ran out of gas on the way here, but no, we're on the same boat.
Yeah. So no. Whenever I talk to an executive leader, my message is positive. Right?
Okay.
And if they want to dig deeper and they want to understand the problems, then I'll talk to them about them.
Yes.
I'll be as authentic as I can be. But the message is positive, right? Because there's a lot of positive in our business, and so I personally like to surround myself with optimistic people like yourself, JP.
Yes.
So I try and make sure that I represent that whenever I'm dealing with executives, just like I represent with my team, right? I want to be optimistic.
Being optimistic is pretty challenging in our industry, and also just kind of in our life today. Not just our industry, but also kind of like whether it's it's COVID. It's tough to be optimistic. I mean, so how do you stay optimistic? Is it being around people? Is it what is it? How do you get those negative lenses off, if you will?
I mean, the answer is number one, you make a conscious decision that you're gonna be positive that day, right? So, I mean, you wake up early, you sit there and focus on certain controllable things that you can do, like hitting the gym first thing in the morning.
Hitting the gym.
Like you make sure that whenever you go to work, you have your day planned out so that you have small, tangible things that you can action and
achieve
make progress on, right? And I mean, one success leads to another success, That's just, it's just how I go through my day. So anyways, how do I stay positive? Being consciously. And whenever I start to get pissed off, I sit there and find something that I can affect, right? And if it's really bad, and I also know we covered this in the podcast, if it's really bad, I'll take off and I'll go home and have a beer and I'll, chill out.
I get it.
Sit in the hot tub and sit and reset.
Try to disconnect.
Because if I'm not in a good mood or I'm not in the right place, the right mindset, I'm not going to do any good for anybody else.
Dude, I noticed that, man. I'll get in these mindset shifts where I'm just like negative, I'm stressed out. I'm not focused on my family. I'm not focused on my wife. I'm not focused on Evelyn. It is tough to get out of that, the negative, the self-doubt, and all that mindset. That's an active effort on my part.
Yeah, I think, I mean, and I know a lot of attention these days is paid to, your where you're at mentally, right? Your mental health.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. I think you need to consistently check yourself and make sure that you're in the right headspace. Because if you're not, then you're not doing yourself good or your team good or your customers good.
That's true.
So, yeah. So, I mean, luckily I've got a strategy, and it's execute, small things that are successful, and just check out the list. The journey of 1,000 miles start with a single step, right?
Man.
So you gotta
to eat an elephant starts with the first bite. That's it. Man, what a catch! What a catch!
You're magic on the mic, buddy.
Man. So you're doing one shift today, 10 to 2.
10 to 2, yep. And then I'll be back tomorrow from 2 to 6.
I think Monica's coming tomorrow.
Nice.
Yeah, I think she's going to try to do a correspondence with me. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So the best part is Monica has obviously the experience in the oil fields. Listen to my rambling bullshit half the time, but I was like, why don't you come up and kind of like co-host with me? Yeah. She's like, I don't really know. I'm like, that's the best part. I kind of want someone that is not, I mean, she's obviously ingrained in the industry, but who's not, whatever.
Yeah, this would be somewhat new to her, fresh to her.
I think it'd be good to get that insight. So yeah, she'll be up here tomorrow. So 2 to 6.
Nice.
So you get done right when traffic's over. I like that.
That's it. Yeah.
That's good. Are you doing any of the networking events?
I don't know. I haven't planned any. So
I haven't planned on any either.
Okay. Well, I'm game. So
okay.
If you're hanging out, let me know.
We'll do something then.
Yeah.
We'll do something. So who are you wearing today, Jason?
Ooh, good question. So this suit's so old. I think it's.
That's Structure. Okay, that's a Structure suit for those that remember that. Okay.
That's right. Still fits.
Remember, I was a assistant manager at Express.
I do remember that.
College, I was my college job. I was an assistant manager at Express for Women in College Station.
A lot of leadership skills were taught.
A lot of leadership skills were taught there. That's exactly right. Time management, personnel. Direction, yes.
I'm pretty sure it was probably the most frequented store in College Station, though, right?
So I think it was. But the problem was in College Station, that was like the one store. So whenever we went out we were tap guys. We always went to the tap in College Station. He actually worked at the tap, and but whenever you went out to the tap, remember those shirts? Like it was like before Affliction. It was like kind of the embroidery shirts.
Oh yeah.
You'd always see like 3 people in the bar wearing that. You're like, damn it! But there's only one store to buy like.
I must have had 2 or 3 of those, and like they all had French cuffs too.
Oh, bro, yeah, we're like this is so clean. This looks so good for 93-degree weather.
That's absolutely
in a smoky College Station bar.
Yeah.
Good times though.
Hey, yeah, made popular by like what 98 degrees.
Oh, the shirts?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was definitely 98 degrees. So
that was okay.
So what else you got going on? Anything?
My son's driving. Hey,
that's weird.
Dude, I know. It is.
How's it been 16 years? I remember holding him. He was like a newborn.
You were there in the beginning.
He was like 2 months old.
Yeah, I know. Now
he's driving. Does that worry you?
It scares the
But are you as a father? Are you one of those guys that's like, hey, I trust you. If you mess up, or like what? I mean, do you give him enough rope? It seems like you do.
I think I do.
Okay.
I guarantee you, I'm probably the person he worries the most about driving with, because I'll call him out whenever he does something that I think is
a backseat driver. A backseat driver. That's great.
I'm not gonna bring up anything that would paint him in a negative light. But there have been a couple of situations where I was like, "Whoa, boy, what are you doing?" Like.
He's like, I'm driving, Dad. Let me text and drive. That's what all the kids do.
That curb was there earlier, but
it didn't jump out in front of you. So are you going to give him a car? Is he going to earn it? What's going on?
Yeah, so I have, for listeners that don't know me well, I have this big red truck.
That's right.
Okay, it's pretty sexy.
And what's the license plate?
I forget.
What's the license plate? I remember the license plate something. I don't know. What is it?
I don't need your listeners
what is it?
At me on the...
Here, just whisper it to me. Isn't like big oil, big Texas oil? No, drilling rig.
No, and literally, if I tell this story, nobody's going to believe me that it wasn't a planned license plate. So
it wasn't planned?
No, it's not planned.
What is it then? Well, no one's going to believe you because you're not saying anything.
Okay, all right.
Share it.
So
God, so personal.
I got a big red truck with black bumpers, and I ordered a black license plate. Okay.
Okay.
So that it would match the bumpers.
Got to look clean.
Yeah, and this is several years ago, mind you.
Okay.
Back whenever I first moved back to Texas, when I was living in Midland in 2017.
Okay.
The license plate came in. I didn't think anything of it. I didn't even hardly look at it. Right. I just was like, oh, they came in, great. I put it on the truck, drove to the shop. I was working for a different service company at the time, and so
it's renewables. That's the license plate.
Yeah. So anyways, I drove up, and this guy walks in. He was the head of logistics for us there. And anyway, so he walks in. He's like, what 18-year-old DB is driving the red truck?
What roughneck got back from the rig with that red truck?
And I was like, red truck? I was like, that's mine. Like, what's wrong with my truck? He's like, your license plate's what's wrong with your truck. It's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I walked out, and I took a look at the license plate. And sure shit. It says GL69RY. So it looks like instead of an O, I put a 69 in the middle. But the good news is that truck is going to my son. So
that's a great license plate for a 16-year-old.
So it's 16 whenever he pulls up and tries to take a girl to a dance. Like, Dad gets to walk out and see Glory
69
as the license plate.
Well, I think we're gonna leave it on that because that's great. Actually, that's a great license plate. It really is good.
I'm pretty sure there's.
I thought it was something to do with oil, but you're right. That's a lot better. Glory 69.
I couldn't make it up. Like literally, I'm not that creative. So
I literally just kept it. You're like, I'll leave it. I'll keep it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm like too lazy to change it. You know what I mean?
If I'm really if I want to mess with somebody, I just park my truck out in front of their house and just leave it there.
Jody's over there. Remember those Jody stories? Yes. So, all right. Well, Jason, so everyone, again, Jason Stewart, the completions liner, data collector, reservoir monitoring, Packers, ESG, Packers, data-driven technology manager, Jason Stewart with Weatherford right here. And please look him up, connect with him. Great friend, great guy, and great license plate.
Indeed. Hey, thanks for having me on. Enjoy the rest of the World Petroleum Congress. And
So is this like OTC? Do they have like cocktails here at a certain time?
It's day one for me.
Day one for me too.
So,
but I kind of feel like it's oil field. But I don't know. This might be a little high and tide oil field conference.
If you're hanging out later, man, let me know.
I'll be around. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Honestly, just check out. Actually, we'll be doing this a bunch. So if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel to get alerts when we're going live, please do so. Smash that like and subscribe button. And I think that's all we got. Okay. You want to lead us out with an Omnicron dance while I turn this off? Do it. Omnicron.